Hello everyone. Back again on my channel NAPAS KUDA. This time I will discuss an anime in which the main characters have eye power, which is their main strength. Before we get into the discussion, don't forget to subscribe, like and share with your friends. Then let's move on to today's main discussion.
At number 10 is D. Gray Man. Alan Walker is an orphan who was adopted as a child by Mana Walker. One day Mana, who had become Alan's adoptive father, died. Lost in grief at the loss of the adoptive father he loved, Millennium Earl came to him and offered to bring Mana back to life. Alan, who is still sad, agrees to summon Mana's soul back to the human world, but when summoned, Mana's soul instead becomes Akuma, which is the weapon of the Millennium Earl. Before losing consciousness and becoming Akuma completely, Mana cursed Alan for summoning his soul and making it Akuma. At a critical moment, Alan's left hand suddenly changed and destroyed Akuma in front of him, as well as reassuring Mana's soul. Shortly after that, Alan was raised by General Cross. General Cross is an exorcist who works for the Black Priest Order. The exorcist of the Black Priest Order are selected people who can use innocence, a weapon that can destroy Akuma. Because Alan's left hand has become innocent, Cross trains him to become a reliable exorcist. In the 9th place there is the Tikamibachi. The story takes place in the land of Amberground, where the eternal night is only partially lit by the artificial sun. Seeing works as bee courier, mail delivery, at Beehive, delivery service, with his dingo, Niche, and his pet, Steak, traveling with him. As the messenger bee, Lag's job is to deliver letters and packages from town to town while avoiding Amberground's deadliest danger, a species of giant armored insect known as Geishuu, which tries to feed off the hearts that reside within letters and package. At first, Lag and Ghosh Suede, a member of the elite group of courier bees, meet each other, seeing Lag as the letter that should be sent. During the trip he bonded quite a bit with Lag. Lag looked up at him and admired him a lot. The main reason for the Lag to become a courier bee was so he could see Geishuu and find his mother. Dismayed, Ghosh disappears when he becomes the courier bee, and he sets up a new scene to find Ghosh. At number 8 there are Get Backers. The story revolves around the Get Backers, a group that will restore whatever is lost. The group consists of Ban Mito, a man born with the illusory ability called Evil Eye, and Ginji Amano, a former leader of a gang called the Volts, a powerful group in the dangerous region known as the Infinite Fortress of Shinjuku. Get Backers begins when two friends, Ginji Amano and Ban Mito, get orders to find the missing cat statue. As it turned out, this job was just a trap, and they were knocked out by Hishiki Ryudo, a former wrestler. GB, short for Get Backers, then wakes up in a room full of comatose people, and is asked to save a man by a nurse who framed them. The man turned out to be her fiancé. They again faced Hiiki, and with Ban's ingenuity, they managed to defeat him. At number 7 there is Another. It is told in 1972, at Yomiyama North Middle School there is a student from grades 3 who is very popular. He is very popular with his friends and teachers at school. But in the middle of the school year he died for no apparent reason. Until one day one of the students from his class said that Misaki was still alive and studying with them. This oddity continued. One by one the students in the class said the same thing as a plague that began to infect the people around him. And on the day of graduation, the headmaster deliberately set aside a chair for him and his other friends. But in the following year, the oddities that occurred in class 3-3 were not over. There were not enough seats for the students. This was because there was an additional student who shouldn't be in the class. This is where the curse of class 3 begins. Once every month at least one student or relative dies or gets into an accident. At number 6 there is Blood Plus, which is a continuation of Blood, the Last Vampire. The story itself centers on a high school girl named Saya Otonasi. One day, he was suddenly attacked by a vampire called Chiropteran. Fortunately, he was saved by a mysterious man named Hagi. The man is unable to kill Chiropteran and says only I can kill him after that girl drank Hagi's blood. After learning of a Chiropteran hunting organization called Red Shield, I decided to join. Fighting the creature will unlock Saya's memories of her past. In 5th place is Shinra Tantei Yakumo. This anime, which is a mystery, supernatural, psychological and horror genre, tells of a student, Saito Yakumo, who was born with a different eye color. His left eye is red, which gives him the special ability to see ghosts and spirits. He believed ghosts and spirits were bound to Earth due to a certain cause, and only by eliminating that cause would they rest in peace. Long story short, after the graduation party, Ozawa Haruka and a group of his friends went to a school building to take a courage test, but one of them was possessed by a soul and the other two died by suicide 2 days later. In order to save his friend, Ozawa Haruka enlists the help of Saito Yakumo, who is said to have a sixth sense. At first, Haruka was reluctant to ask for help because he saw firsthand Yakumo's cheating when showing his abilities, but after getting the evidence from his past, Haruka believes and the story begins. In fourth place there is Magica Rental. Due to the loss of a father figure, Itsuki Iba finally has to take over his family's business, namely the wizard delivery service. Their family employs countless wizards and other supernatural beings to send them out and help those in need of magical help. As a leader, Itsuki must now be tough, authoritative, and reliable. Fortunately, there's one problem: he's a coward. In order to run the business and achieve success, he must connect with his employees, who are more difficult than it seems because of his personality. Not only does he deal with his own employees, he also has to deal with those who threaten the family business. Using the setting of an agency that sells services, the storyline is very risky and then develops without direction, but is able to always look after Astral and its members. This anime manages to give its story a fairly strong structure. In each new case, the audience is brought further into the background and character traits of the characters, rather than simply showing off their abilities. In third place is Kuroshi Tsuji. Telling some of the early life of Ciel and his servants, there are several stories that may be different from the manga but still have their own uniqueness. And here Tori is not too excited about the storyline, but Tori really likes the songs, especially the famous song London Bridge Has Fallen Down, which is made like a mantra here. The setting is set in London during the reign of Queen Victoria. Several historical events such as the construction of a bridge and the burning of London are also included in this anime. So it feels like learning history about England. This Ciel is quite stubborn and it's tsundere. Ciel, even though he is only 13 years old, always carries out his duties from the Queen without a hitch, and of course it's all thanks to Sebastian's efforts. Ever in an episode Sebastian said young master really has no skills other than being kidnapped, huh? Indeed, Ciel is often a victim of kidnapping because he looks light. Ciel also has a fiancée named Elizabeth Cordelia et Hel Middleford, very long Yi, or commonly called Lizzie, is a nobleman who is a year older than Ciel. In second place is Kekai Sensen. At its core, this anime intends to introduce a city called Helsalem's Lot, or HL, and he does it pretty well. Although the initial causes are still a bit confusing, there is a logical process that can explain how New York could turn into HL, which has such a unique condition. Each episode has also been set to introduce bits and pieces of what HL has to offer, including the members of Libra, and since basically everything in HL is weird and out of the ordinary, it's always exciting to at least see what's coming up in the show. Next episode. However, maybe because its main purpose is limited to just introducing HL, this anime doesn't really pay much attention to the quality of the story writing itself. Some of the episodes seem to be made carelessly with problems that will just appear and solutions that are also very forced, such as when a Lyra suddenly comes and destroys the entire city, while the topics of discussion of some other episodes in general are not enough to invite curiosity. You know, like the story about Neji the Beyond Being who loves man-made burgers. Perhaps an episode or two can still be considered the exception, but most of this anime does not present a story worth following. In the first place there is Densetsu Yusha no Densetsu. Reiner Lute is a lazy student of the Witch Kingdom's Roland Empire Academy. One day, the Roland Empire went to war against the neighboring country of Astabal, and Reiner lost his classmates in the war. After the war, Reiner sets out on a journey to search for the relics of the legendary hero that King Zion Ostal ordered, and learns that a deadly curse is spreading across the continents of the earth. The story is good, although sometimes I don't understand the political intrigue and conflicts that occur in his kingdom. This anime has a good plot, but the story is a little slow. So you really have to be patient in watching this anime. Maybe the conflict sounds normal, or we judge it like a normal magic adventure theme. Well, only about the quest for hero/legendary relics and war between kingdoms, but the story is more deep and exciting than initially thought. Even though it's not a comedy genre, this anime has a comedy humor that is quite good and quite entertaining, so that the audience enjoys it but does not detract from the essence of the story.